my oats. Yeah, no, it was not good. So if you don't know, South by Southwest is basically like it's like a film, music, and tech festival or like convention or whatever. And basically me and Miz were part of a panel with CEO Dan and Sushi Dragon. So we had to get up at 7:30 a.m. because they needed us there at 9 a.m. So I picked up Miz because his car's in the shop or whatever, and I was like, beep beep, Miz, I'm here at 8:30. We gotta get going. And he's like, fuck, like, do we have to go? And I'm like literally outside his house. I'm like, beep beep, come on, hurry it up. And then he's like, okay. And then he like comes out all tired with like his wet hair because he just took a shower. And I'm like, okay, yay. And then there's like, it takes like 40 fucking minutes to get all the way downtown. So we are like super tired. And then we actually get to the panel and stuff, and it was very pleasant. Like, I actually really enjoyed doing the panel. That was definitely the best part of the whole day. I didn't really add much, substance, I think, because I think Miz is really good at that stuff. The YouTube video of the panel should be out in like tomorrow or the day after. But we just talked basically about like Twitch, and then Dan asked me a lot about like my content and stuff. And then I literally said growing the gyat in front of like a crowd of like 200 people. Dan was like, so Emily, what content are you doing recently? And I'm like, so I've been doing this thing where I grow my gyat, and the crowd was like so tough. It was a very scary crowd because anytime any of us made a joke, the crowd would be like Miz had some good ones. Miz would make funny jokes. He'd be like blah blah blah, and then the crowd goes like, and then we're like, yeesh, tough crowd. No, but it was like so serious, and then not like, I don't think anyone laughed. So when I was talking, I was just like la la la, like smiling, and everyone just like staring at me like, oh my god. But thankfully I don't get stage fright or anything, so it wasn't too bad. But it's just pretty funny to think that I literally was on the stage and I was like, yeah, I was growing my gyat. So I hope people were able to learn a lot from the panel. Personally, I don't really go to panels because I'm not sure, like, I don't pay attention to panels, so that's why I never go, because I'm like, I'm not really listening. But I think Miz had some very insightful comments, and then Dan like led the conversation and also had great comments, and then Sushi Dragon was very technical, and he had like a lot of his cool gear and stuff, and then I was just there, and then I was just smiling. I was there to bring the vibes up. But yeah, it was my first Twitch panel ever. Really fun, really good. And then after the panel was over, then Miz and I decided to like walk around, and we're like, okay, should we stream this? I'm like, okay, like do I want to actually stream this? And we get into the convention center, and it's literally so boring. Like, there's nothing to do. It's just companies with booths trying to sell you stuff. It was crazy. And so then we're like, okay, this is like kind of lame. And then they're like, yeah, do you want to try this and this? And like, what are your thoughts on AI? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't fucking know or care. And we're just like, okay, this would be horrible stream content. So we ended up not streaming, unfortunately. And then, I don't know, is it okay if I tell the story? Well, I feel like Miz might be a little mad that I'm telling the story before him, but that's what happens when you stream earlier, right? Okay, so I'll say the story. But basically, we were walking around the convention center, and then there's like, oh, I took a video of it actually. I didn't know it would be so crazy. But there's a place with a wheel, okay? They're like, come here and spin this wheel, and you're gonna get something for free. And we're like, okay, we like free stuff. Let's do it. Here's Miz spinning a wheel. Wow, nice. nice.
And what they do is they
He's like, what the? He's okay. So we're like, oh, nice. He gets a very nice fucking, what's the word? Coupon. And we're like, okay, give us the coupon. Like let's get this $25 gift card and let's go. And instead, this lady like drags us to this table and she's like, what are your thoughts on vacationing? Like, do you guys want a vacation? And we're like, sure, like that'd be fun. And she's like, do you want to go to the Bahamas or Aruba or where do you want to go? And we're like, oh yeah, like we can go to we want to go to island and stuff. And then she's like, okay, great. I have this deal for you. You can do an 8-day, 7-night, all paid for expense for $399. And we're like, wait, what? And then she's like, yes, only $399, and you can go to this place for 8 days, all inclusive, blah blah blah. And then we're like, wait, that's kind of crazy. Like, what's the catch? And then she's like, well, you have to stop by Miami, Florida or Orlando, Florida, listen to a 90-minute timeshare presentation, and then say no at the end. And then we're like, oh, and like she was literally telling us that you should say no to the timeshare. And she's like, as long as you do the 90-minute timeshare walkthrough, you can go on this 8-day trip. And then we're like, timeshare, and then she's like, I know you're hesitant, but let me throw in this 4-day cruise for $299. we're like, what? Like, she just kept yapping, and then we're like, wait, $299 now? And she's like, yeah, you can get the 8-day, you can get the 4-day cruise, and just go to this 90-minute timeshare thing, and you can't say no. And me and Miz we're sitting there, we're like, wait, that's like kind of good stream content. Like, we could technically do it. So we're like kind of like sitting there just like thinking like, would it work out? Would it work out? And then the lady knew that we were hesitating. She could tell that we were kind of like iffy about it, right? And so then she's like, let me call over my manager, because Miz kept going like, this is too good to be true. Like, there's no way that this is this good. And then she's like, let me call him over. So then Spencer comes over, and Spencer's like, oh, what's the deal here? And then Mrs. like, so we can really just say no at the timeshare place? And he's like, the timeshares really hope that 1% of people buy the $60,000 timeshare. You don't have to buy it. We're just hoping that you could be the 1%. But if you're not the 1%, then you just say no. And then we're like, okay. And then he's like, here's what I'll do. 8-day, $199. So it went all the way down from $399 to $199. And we're like, $199 for an 8-day trip, and we have to go to Orlando or Miami, and then we can stream it. Because we asked him, we're like, oh, like, we're streamers, like, we kind of just stream our lives, like, can we stream this process? And he's like, I don't see why not. And then we're like, could be good content. And then they're like, yeah, we just like really need to hit our sign up quota, so we're trying to get as many people to sign up as we can, but you can say no at the timeshare. And then we're like, okay. And then Mrs. like, oh, I gotta, like, someone's calling me, because he had to call someone. And then we're like, don't worry, we'll sit right over there, like in their eyesight, like in their vision. We're like, okay, we're gonna sit right there. He's gonna take the call and we'll come back. And so then Miz does this like 30-minute call on just like on TikTok or whatever, and then we like watch them, we see them like turn around, and we're like, go! Like after the call, we're like, run! And then we just ran away, and we did not end up buying the $199 8-day trip, unfortunately. But we were really thinking about it. We're like, Miz and I were like, imagine the content, like if it was actually a scam, we could show it off, stream it, and it would be so good. So unfortunately, we did not get the deal. But was it an actual scam? But the thing is, like, we would have been stuck in this shitty place for 8 days, and like that's like such a long time, you know? Like, we don't want to stream somewhere for 8 days. So, and then we can't even stream the timeshare part probably. He'll let us stream everything else, but the timeshare part is the juicy part, and that's like where you get all the drama, right? But if they don't even let us stream it, then what's the point? So we did not end up doing it because like the buying it is the scam, but the timeshare thing is legit. It's not a scam. I don't know, it just seems like so, like, I learned that if something's too good to be true, it usually is, right? So like $199 for 8 days, it makes no sense. So we were like, this is crazy. And the fact they went from $3.99 to $2.99 to $1.99. We were like looking at each other, we're like, what the fuck just happened? We can go on a vacation for $1.99 total. I think it wasn't even per person, and we're like, maybe, but that was like the highlight of our South by Southwest trip. So, yeah, isn't that pretty good? Almost got scammed, but no, yeah, it would be $25 a night.